I'm Heather from Heather Handmade, and today I'm going to show you my Dreambox and how I've made it into the perfect sewing area and sewing desk. The Dreambox is from the original scrap box, so is the side table and the sew station, and all of those will be on sale for Black Friday this week, and you should check out the sale if you need help organizing your sewing room. So as you can see, this is my Dreambox, and I don't have space to have it go all the way out, so this edge right here is at a 90-degree angle, and actually makes it nice because when I'm sitting here at this desk area, I can reach everything while I'm sitting there. I have a side table set up here on the left side, and then I have my sew station right here connected in the front, and then I actually removed the table that comes with the Dreambox, and it goes right here. I took that off because I wanted to have my desk area like this instead. I felt like it fit my machines better. Not every tote of my Dreambox is perfectly organized, and I still have some cord things I have to figure out, but I thought I would share what my Dreambox is like right now, and that I've been using it for a month or two, and since I've gotten the Dreambox, I've been able to keep my sewing room clean, much better than I ever was before. And even though some of these totes are a little bit messy, it's still in a tote and put away, and I still have a lot of desk area that doesn't ever get cluttered. I'm going to take you on a tour of my Dreambox and show you what I have organized, and maybe that will give you an idea of how you can organize yours. So this is the right side of my Dreambox. Up here I have, this is all of my leather and fabric paint that I don't actually use all that often, but it's nice to have it for random projects when I need it, and I keep it all right here. Down here I have some Mod Podge that actually works for fabric. It's all fabric glue stuff, and I don't use those very often either, but I don't want them to get lost somewhere, and it's nice to display them right there. Up here I have my yarn. I have random yarn, and I don't actually use yarn all that often, but I love to crochet, and I do like one project a year, so that's where I put my yarn. I don't have a lot. In here I have a bunch of deco foil stuff. I love to use deco foil when I'm, sometimes I use it on fabric or on t-shirts. I will link to a video that will show you how I use it, like to make graphic tees. In here I have some quilt basting spray and some fabric stiffener. I don't use these very often, but when I had my sewing room organized the last way, I knew I had quilt basting spray, and I had put it in a box somewhere, and I couldn't find it for 3 months because I didn't know where it was. But now it's in a spot, it has a safe place. I'll always be able to find it. I actually bought these boxes that are gray striped because I needed some tall bins, and I just reorganized this, so I reorganized the shelves so I could put these in. So in here I have some pillow forms and random interfacing. It's kind of a big mess, but all my interfacing is in here. I know where it is. Some of my batting is in here. I go through this, I rotate through this pretty quickly, and so this box is always changing. So over here I have paint brushes for when I'm randomly painting. I have some hair alligator clips in here. In here I have all of my tape measures. I like to have them right here, so when I'm coming into my sewing room I just grab it really quick if I'm measuring something. Here I have my crochet hooks, and here I have Cricut pens. These are the pens that work with the Cricut fabric pen, regular pens, whatever. They're all in here. So down here I have hanging on these hooks, I have my random Cricut tools that I use, like scissors and the weeder tool. So I keep them here so they're easy to find. These are all my Cricut mats, and I decided to put them here because I don't really have the wall space to hang them up, and I don't really have like a big flat drawer I can put them in, so it's nice to have them sitting here vertically, and then I can just flip through to find the color I need. And I have my tall ones that fit in here also. I used these are the shelf things for this Dreambox that go across the shelf to put things on, but I decided to put them here so that these won't fall out, they won't slide out at the bottom. So in this top one, this is random stuff I'm going to use for ornaments. Like this is a box that switches out pretty regularly. This one and this one are felt. Some are small pieces, some are big pieces. You can see it's kind of a little bit of a mess right now because I use felt a lot at Christmas time. Here I have my leather, my Cricut leather that I use to cut with Cricut. And here I have like Cricut infusible ink blanks and maybe some tiny iron-on vinyl pieces. In here I have my everyday iron-on vinyl. In here I have my permanent vinyl. Down here I have my patterned and like my metallic and maybe like special iron-on vinyl. Down here I have my boxes of infusible ink, and down at the bottom is all of my glitter vinyl. Now over here, this is the middle section of the Dreambox. Up here I have some fabric that I'm going to use. It's kind of like a work in progress. In here I have more iron-on vinyl. This is for like a specific thing I'm doing for Cricut. I also have some of my Sew News magazines down here that I'm meaning to read. This is all my like hand embroidery stuff that I don't do very often, but I have a bunch of colors from my mom and some embroidery hoops, and it's just nice to keep it all in one place even though I do it every once in a while. It is fun to get out and to teach my kids how to do it because it's something they can do for fun that's easier than using a sewing machine. In here I have a bunch of tote bags that I've designed and I just use every once in a while. I haven't found a better place to put it. In here I have, this is my muslin I made back in college when I like I took a whole class about like fitting yourself with a muslin, and I actually have never tried it on since then, but it's like perfectly fitted to my college body. That was before I had kids, so I need to go back and revisit this. This is like the muslin transferred back to a pattern, so this is a nice base to have in case I want to use it again. In here I have paper crafts and stamps and letters, and this is like not for sewing. This is for my regular life when I need a card for a baby shower or something like that. So that's where I keep this. This is where my gift tags are. It's just nice to have it in one place. In here is usually where I keep my hot glue gun, which I'm using for something else. And these are just some teal mailers that I bought. In here I have, this is like my notebook that I use for random notes, my business cards, pens, just stuff like that, that it's nice to be able to grab when I'm, need to look at something. These two things are actually, this is a picture that my grandfather made when so my grandfather grew up in Germany, and because of World War II, he was never able to graduate from high school. So he never got a diploma, he never went to college. And when he was 40, he was like visiting the library. He had moved to America, he was visiting the library, and he saw a book that said anyone can oil paint, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna try that out because I don't have any background in painting. So he bought the book and he did oil paintings. They're beautiful. He made several and he decorated his house with them, and I inherited one when he passed away. This is just a really tiny flower one he did, and I keep it here to remind me to try something new, like no matter what age I am, and no matter what my background is like, I can try something new or do something different, and it's okay to try. And he traveled a lot when he was working, and so he brought back little knickknacks, and he happened to grab this tiny little sewing person, this little wooden person that I don't even know where he got it. Oh, it says Germany on the bottom. He got this in Germany in one of his travels, and I keep it here to just remember where I'm from and where I'm going. And here I have all of my rotary blades, and it's actually not close to any of my like the table where I cut or my cutting mats, but I don't want my kids to get this, so I put this up high. Up here I have some fat quarters and random scraps that I have a plan to do something with and I haven't yet. In here, this is all of my lace trim, like just what I've gathered over the years, and I just slowly use it. In here, this is a work in progress. It's a dress I need to make that I haven't made yet. In here, this is all my random serger and cover stitch stuff, like it's all of the pieces and parts and manuals and covers and all the random stuff I put in here. This is also a work in progress. I cut these overalls out this summer and never made them, and now I want to change the design, so we'll wait till next summer. And here, this is just a random mishmash of stuff like hand needles and other serger stuff and hooks and snaps and tweezers. I mean, this is like, I mean, it's kind of organized, but it's still kind of a big mess. This is all of my snap stuff. This is plastic snaps and heavy duty snaps and metal snaps and grommets and all those kinds of things that use tools. This down here is all of my buttons, tons of buttons. So right here on this middle desk, this is where I keep my Cricut Maker. It's really great to just pull out here, and I can use it right here. It plugs in. There's a hole back here in the wall, or in the back of the Dreambox, so I plug it into the wall, and then I have my cord thing right here. This is the cord thing I need to figure out where I'm putting the cords. And down here, this is part of the Dreambox that's still kind of messy. I haven't quite figured it out. I might put all my stuff that's like work in progress down here. Haven't figured it out. These are envelopes that I store my patterns. These are extra shelves. That is the cord for the Cricut Maker, because sometimes I unplug it and I don't want the cords everywhere. This is just random stuff that I have that I'm going to use for Christmas, and I haven't figured it out. Down here I have my laminator that I actually only use in like my personal life. I don't really use it for sewing, but I've had it for several years and I love it. I use it all the time. It's a great investment, $30, and stuff for kids, I'm using it all the time. Now over on, this is the right side of the Dreambox. Up here is all of my books I use for sewing. Some of these I get out all the time, like this book I get out all the time. I use it. It's like a pattern alteration book, and it tells you like how things work. I love these books, and I love have like easy access. I've actually, before I had the Dreambox, I was never able to keep my sewing books in my sewing room because I didn't have like a bookcase or space to put them. And so this is like the first time I've had them here. I don't have to walk back to my room to get them. It's awesome. In here I have patterns. These are all of my paper patterns. A lot of them are Simplicity and McCall's, so I keep them in here. There are half of them are kids, half of them are women's. I still use them even though I use PDF patterns. I use all of them. Over here I have all of my felt balls in these jars, and I have them in a rainbow order. I love felt balls. I use them for props, and I use them for when I'm sewing. I love them. In here I have glue sticks, and I use glue sticks randomly. Sometimes I use them instead of pins when I'm like putting a pocket on a shirt. So I like having them close by to reach. In here I have a bunch of random hardware like D-rings and circle rings and clips. Any random like bag hardware, especially if I am getting rid of a bag, I often cut off the hardware to keep. This is wooden buttons, and I mean, I have a different place for buttons, but I love natural looking buttons a lot, and so I just put this here because it's pretty. I just like it. And these are random patches that I've gathered over the years that I've always had plans on making and using them on something, and I never have, so they're just here. In here I have washi tape, regular tape, and more washi tape. I like to use Scotch tape and washi tape on patterns, and so I just have easy access to them. Up here I have, these are fabric pens. So some of them are the friction, the Pilot friction pens that when you iron them, they go away. If you get it cold, it comes back, so it should still be in the seam allowance. And then some of these are markers that are like permanent fabric pens. In here, I'm saving a bunch of spools, and I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with them, but I go through thread, and I thought it would be nice to save them and do a craft with them sometime, and I haven't figured out what I'm gonna do. And then right here I have zippers. So up here I have just regular zippers. These are separating zippers, and these are invisible zippers. And I like these totes for them because they're longer. So even if I have, like, this is a really long invisible zipper, it's still like you fold it once and it still fits in here. So that's really nice. So down underneath on the right side, so this is my side table that I have, and it goes right into that side. There's like a track that it goes in, so it hooks in right there. This is my plug that I use to like turn on all my machines, but I need to figure out the cord organization. I think I'm just gonna do those little cord holder things and have all the cords on the bottom here, or just put a basket under here. I'm still figuring that out. But underneath here I have all of my other ribbon and trims. I have 2 drawers, 2 totes of these, and they are and I have all my like bias binding. I might put that in another place, but it's still really nice to have it so close right here when I'm sewing. And down here in this bottom box is my, this is kids and men's PDF patterns. Women's PDF patterns that I put in envelopes, I put them up here right next to the table. Back here I have hanging all of my fabric scissors. So I have 2 regular ones, some pinking shears, and those duck-billed scissors. And then back here hanging, or back here sitting, I have like my big acrylic rulers, my French curve. I have my medical exam paper that I use when I'm altering patterns. I also have a paper cutter, like a small paper cutter in there, so when I'm putting paper patterns together, that's nice to have. One thing I forgot to mention that I really love is, so I have these, shelves up above, and down below I left it all open because what I put in here is my rolled up PDF patterns. I like to store them vertical. Actually, after I cut them out, I do store them in an envelope in this bin right here. But before I cut it out, when I'm just like waiting to use it, then I just have it rolled up. I use washi tape to keep it closed, and I keep it in there. I never have more than 10 at a time because I order a bunch and then I slowly use it. It takes me a while to use them all up. So this is the side table that I have connected to the side of the Dreambox, and this is where I put my serger and my cover stitch. I really like having an L-shaped way to sew. So I have, this is the door to my sew station, and I put it on the inside. There's a table leg of this. I put it on this side so I can still actually close it. I just pull it out from under the table, which is great if I really want to close it. And then I have my sew station. I'm not going to talk about my sew station right now because I've done a whole big video about it, and I will link to it right here. You can go watch that and see the really cool thing about the sew station. So that is my Dreambox. I don't actually ever close it. If I ever were to close it, I just bring this over. So sometimes I will do this if I'm doing something over here in the corner. I mean, there's a door right there. This is kind of a walkway. So sometimes I close this to get it out of the way, but I don't really ever plan on closing this section, especially with the side table, because when the side table is in, you can't close it. You have to take it out and store it somewhere else. And I prefer to have my machines out much all the time. I know I sometimes will put this machine away, which is nice that it goes down inside and I can cover it up. And I like to do that if I'm cutting out something and I want a big cutting area. So that's not a big deal because I'm not like lifting my machine and putting it somewhere else. But these machines I have out all the time. I never put them away because sometimes I'm just like, oh, this seam needs to be mended and I can do it in 10 seconds if my machine is already out. So I don't plan on closing this side of the box or removing the side table if I ever have to. I might, reorganize stuff over here, but the great thing about the Dreambox is that all of these shelves are interchangeable and you can move them around. You just like move the little hooks, which is great if I change my mind about stuff. If I want to have all big bins, I can do that. If I have all small bins, I use about 40 bins in my Dreambox. So if you are looking at the Dreambox, there's an option to get 80 totes or 40 totes, and I have 40 totes. I love the Dreambox and how it keeps everything organized. My sewing room has been so organized since I started using it. I'm so inspired to sew now because I'm not dealing with clutter. I know where everything is, and I have my machines out right here where I can use them. I love that. I love that I can swing between my machines when I need them, and everything is organized and has a place. In a future video, I plan on doing a tour of my whole sewing room. So let me know if you're interested in that. I can show you all how I store my fabric and where I put all my ironing stuff. I am linking to both the Dreambox, the side table, and the sew station below. You can go look at those and look at more details. If you want a discount, you can use the code Heather Handmade, all one word, all caps. You can get $100 off. Let me know what is your biggest problem when it comes to organizing your sewing room, and maybe we can help each other out in the comments. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.